A request from Momiji. Okay, Momiji. Here we are, Chot. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a case. Episode 2. The Grimoire Marissa. Alright, I remember. Let's go. Sora doesn't really do anything, that's the thing. Like, he doesn't really have any crazy schmixes. Whereas Kazuya has an invincible move that combos into a 0 to death. If you're, you just read their DI properly. Kind of insane. Like, all the DLC characters in Smash Ultimate have something to them, but the DLC Fighters Pass 2 has, they got a little bit extra juice, that's all. Finally, it's mine. With this, I can become #1 in Gensokyo. I'm already so talented, so if I can change my form too, hee hee. There's not a single human who'd be able to resist me, and once they fall under my spell, I'll take them all for all their worth. Jun? Is that you? Huh? You're a little early, don't you think? You're about 5 years too early. But what do I do with the rest of it? There's another good idea. This one human who thought she could make a fool of me the other day. She can have it. That should make a stir. Hee hee. Kee hee hee hee. April 10th, 9:33. Shamimaru Law Office. Hee hee. Hee hee hee. Finally, my Boom Boom Maru has won the newspaper competition. Look at that. That's right, Shimemaru, you're the best reporter we have. You can do anything. You don't have to play that silly trial game anymore. No more working yourself ragged to solve cases that never bring in new readers. It's a waste of your talents. And let's have a feast for you today. I'm feeling generous. We'll treat you to anything, so don't you hold back. Good morning, Aya. Momiji, what do you want for drinks, eh? The sake? Of course it's fine. Oh, Aya's sleeping. Aya? It's all on the chief, so don't be shy, because today's my special day. My newspaper won the championship. Aya! It's time to wake up. She woke up at 9:30. Insane. What? What's going on? Nothing's going on. You were slumped over on your desk sleeping. So me winning the newspaper competition. It was all just a dream. You've been talking in your sleep for a while now. Momiji? You heard that? Yeah, every last thing. Forget about it. That's an order. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Forget about it. Forget about it. If you don't. So this place is the Shimemaru Law Office, isn't it? To think I would have to beg a Tengu for help, what a disgrace. Who the fuck comes into the house saying something like this when they need my help? Aya, you've got guests. Yes, the law firm that will always prove your innocence, the Shimemaru Law Office. Wait, Kaneko? Suiko? What are you two doing here? What do you think? We require your services as a defense attorney. You're awful rude about it. I can say no, you know. It's Sanai. Sanai has been arrested by the maid from the vampire mansion. Sanai. How did that happen? I would like to know that myself. Our vampire's maid suddenly appeared, declared, Miss Sanai Kochiya, you were under arrest on suspicion of theft, and took her away. Sanai would never do anything like that. But I think they said something about a grimoire. A grimoire? A book of magic spells. But that has nothing to do with Sanai, does it? She has the power to work miracles. Right, I don't follow. Did they arrest Sanai for stealing a grimoire? Unthinkable, isn't it? However, she will be put on trial this afternoon, and so the Scarlet Devil Mansion sent word that she would require a defense. And that's why you've come to me. Since we know Sanai better than anyone, I wanted us to defend her ourselves, but they said they wouldn't let anyone except a certified lawyer do it. Wait, Chad, aren't you allowed to defend yourself in court? Like, can't you be your own lawyer? Do they have to be certified? Well, I am the only lawyer Gensokyo has. Still. Don't be like that. They need our help. My profession is reporting the news. Being a lawyer is just a side thing that got forced onto me. You're always like this. There is no time to waste. I implore you to lend us your aid. Ayaya? Ayaya! Kaneko, bowing to a Tengu's a bit. This is the only way we can help Sanae now, so it cannot be helped, can it? Aya. I understand, I'll take the case. Momiji, get ready. Yes. If we're imposing, then I apologize. No matter how I feel about it, this is also my job. I didn't think you'd actually go and beg. It is all for Sanae, so it's a small price to pay. With that said, the trial is to be held this afternoon, and so we will be staying put at the shrine until then. We wouldn't want to do anything that could end up hurting Sanae's chances in court. Sounds good. We'll leave everything to you two. They tried to kill Momiji, by the way, and they're gone. Oh, that's a spoiler. Oh, fuck. Phew. Looks like we've been dragged into another mess. Whoops. I accidentally spoiled the game. Oh well, you shouldn't be playing this game until you're caught up to date anyway. But if a god's going to be bowing her head to us, we can't really say no. That hasn't happened yet. Oh, great, because this game takes place, like, between the events of the third game, right? So, you're telling me after all this work I did, they still threatened to kill Momiji? What the fuck? So I'm grateful. You got that right. Hello, Momiji. You're my favorite. Did you know that? Your thoughts. It really doesn't make sense, does it? Sanae's stealing a grimoire. I'd get it if it was Marissa, a truly hardened criminal, that one. But aren't magicians the only one who have grimoires? Then maybe Alice is the victim this time. Her house should have plenty of those to steal. Or it could actually be Miss Patchouli. Ah, that's also a possibility. When she's not acting as prosecutor in the trial, she just stays cooped up in her library with her books. Well, we should go ask Sanae about it first of all. True enough. Alright. Let's see, what do I got? Even if you show me that, I really don't know. You can't present profiles. You can't even look at them. Typewriter, go. 9:45, Scarlet Devil Mansion. You can't do this to me. I'm innocent. I'm a god incarnate. And a god wouldn't steal. How could you not understand that? Chad, did Sanae get new art? This looks like new art. This looks like new art to me. I don't remember if she had this art in the third game, but I definitely remember her art being different in the first one. This is her art from the third game. Okay, I couldn't remember if it changed then, like Patchy's did. All I did was pick up that book. How is that a crime? Sanae? Why are you arguing with the wall? No one would listen, so I had to get it out of my system. I haven't done anything I should be ashamed of. I just wasn't expecting to find a poor lost child. Lady Kaneko already told you would take charge of my defense. So let's get this started right away, please. She's like a completely different person now. It's just how she is. She's usually so nice and helpful, but she could snap and flip back in the blink of an eye. As I'm sure you've heard already, I'm being accused of stealing one of Marissa's grimoires, but I only picked it up on the shrine grounds. It was Marissa's grimoire. How did you know that? Her signature was in the preface, and she talked about that grimoire with me before. And what was in that book? I don't really know the details, but Miss Sakuya told me it was a collection of all kinds of magic spells. So, was it actually her book? The grimoire, if you didn't know, the grimoire of Marissa is a real book you can read. It's a collection of Marissa's, Marissa creates a collection of different characters' spell cards to use as reference, and she has her own little comments on them as well. So the Grimoire of Marissa is like a real book in our world, and also in the Touhou universe, because Marissa wrote it herself. So I'm assuming that's the book in question, considering it's called the Grimoire of Marissa. There's nothing unusual about that. Marissa's a magician, so she'd write down her spells in a grimoire. No, that grimoire had one unusual feature. By eating its pages, anyone could become able to cast the corresponding spells. What? Bro, what does that even mean? That is not how you're... That is not how... That's not how knowledge works. But how do you get them back? I guess Marissa would come up with something like that. Yeah, but if you eat the book, you can't read the book anymore. What if you make photocopies of it? Do the photocopies still have the same results? What? Well, that does sound really convenient. But I am innocent. After all, I have the power to call out miracles without relying on something like magic spells. Still, I'm sure there are some things you just can't do. There's nothing I can't do! Aya, are you trying to get her worked up again? Sorry. When people act like that, it makes me feel like being contrary. Will leaving everything to you really be alright? I'm feeling anxious now. Chat, that reminds me. There was a slice of life show I was watching way, like, years ago. I don't remember the name of it. I didn't watch more than, like, 2 episodes either. But in the first episode, there was this girl with blue hair who just ate books. And that's what that reminded me of. She just ate paper, like 8 pages right out of books. She had blue hair. I don't remember what the name of it was or anything, but that was her character trait. And I was like, what the, why, what? Huh? I was like, what? I don't understand the details, but there are all kinds of spells in there, and it made it so anyone could cast those spells by eating the pages. Anyone, so even yokai who don't know magic. Yes, and this was why I thought I had to return to Marissa at once, but she wasn't home. If she just stayed home, then I wouldn't have to be put through this. Please settle down, Sanai. Excuse me, I got a bit flustered there. But when was it that you went to Marissa's house? It was just before sunrise, I'd say. I went to see her right after I found the grimoire lying on the shrine grounds. And Marissa was out? No, it's not Little Busters. Yes, where could she even have been at that hour? That is strange. And you're certain about the time? Of course, I always wake up just before dawn to sweep the grounds. But after all that, you were arrested. That's how it turned out, because I still had the grimoire. Aya, this looks like a case of mistaken arrest. We should go to the scene right now. Right. Still, Sakuya wouldn't arrest her for no reason, but we should find out more there. Notes on the grimoire, revealed to the court record, with determination. A book made by Marissa, anybody can cast the spells within by eating its pages no matter their aptitude for magic. That's pretty fucking magical. Here, check this out. Even if you show me this. Check this out. I only intended to return it to the scene of the crime. Oh, right, I forgot. Marissa has a fucking castle. Miss Shimemaru, Miss Momiji, we've been expecting you. Miss Sakuya, you're out of line this time. Momiji, whatever do you mean? Don't play dumb. Sanai hasn't done anything wrong. Do you even have any evidence at all? Naturally, we have proof of her crime. But I cannot divulge everything before the trial. That would ruin the plot. I don't want to hear that from you. Momiji's right. I am not at liberty to discuss this. Isn't going to fly this time around. Look, I'm sorry, but it's all like Sakuya said. Marissa. And why is that? First off, not many people know about that grimoire. Sanai is one of the only ones. Come to think of it, Sanai did say she'd heard about it from you. Not a lot of people know about it, so it's very secret. Anyway, I like talking about it to anyone who will listen. This is your fault, Marissa. In all honesty, this is quite a significant fact. It greatly narrowed down possible culprits. But it'd be pointless to start arguing here and now. We don't actually know anything yet. Oh, right, I forgot about this theme. It's a jam. The grimoire got stolen while I was over at Mistia's stall with Alice. Guess I had a bit too much to drink that night. I fell asleep on the counter and Mistia woke me up when she closed up shop at dawn. You had a bit too much. Mistia kept showing off all the kinds of nice sake she had, so I had to give him a try, right? Anyways, when I made it home, that's when I saw it. You saw what? You don't mean... I saw Sanai coming out of my house with the grimoire. I tried going after her, but I was too tipsy for that. So in the end, all I could do was get some help from the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Once I received that report, I went to the Moria Shrine at once. I arrested the suspect after confirming that the book she held was Marissa's grimoire, and that it was missing some pages. Wait a minute, Sanai was only trying to return a book she found on the shrine's grounds, and yet you're treating her like a criminal? That's just excessive. While that is what the suspect claims, how would you explain her breaking into the victim's home then? Well, if the door to Marissa's house wasn't locked. Whoa now, if somebody calls out for me at the entrance, I can hear them. But that ain't what she did. Maybe after Sanai called out to the door and got no response, she went in and had a look in Marissa's house. But then she saw no one was home and went back. Even if she was trespassing, she didn't have any bad intentions. Let's say that's what happened. We've still got better proof. A note had been left in the victim's house. It reads as follows. Your grimoire is in my keeping. Since it contains dangerous strengthening magic, please come pick it up at our shrine as soon as you can. Sanai Kochiya. Doesn't that prove her? Wait a minute. How is that proof of guilt? It literally says, you left your book here. It's dangerous. Please come pick it up. What? What kind of criminal would leave this? That's like the fucking SpongeBob movie where the fucking Plankton leaves a note on the crown that says, I stole your crown, signed Eugene Krabs. As it like, what? There's just no, huh? Well, what's so strange about that? If anything, this is proof Sanai went to the house for innocent reasons. No, quite the opposite. What? Please read it over again carefully. She knew concrete details of the spells that grimoire held, but according to Marissa, the suspect had not been told about this. You see, making sense of grimoires ain't easy. You can't just glance through and know what spells do. But then, we believe this note was left behind by the suspect as an attempt to divert suspicion, but further explanation will have to wait until the trial. Come on. At this point, it doesn't sound unreasonable to suspect Sanai anymore. Sanai's note was placed in the court record under a cloud of despair. A note left behind in Marissa's house. But Sanai shouldn't have known about these spells. God damn it, Sanai. You're making my job hard. I cannot comment. The grimoire is quite the achievement, Marissa. Oh. That grimoire is a little pet project of mine. The idea is to make magic spells accessible to all. Well, I say that, but I guess I was really just killing time. And is that the truth? I think Marissa's the kind of person who doesn't like others knowing how hard she works. This is correct. What sort of spells did you write about it in there? All kinds of things, but mostly spells to modify the body. Like a spell that'll change your height. My man. Or a spell that'll change the size of your boobs? What are you writing about that for? Wait a minute, who's using this? Who wants to be taller and have bigger booba? I can think of 5 characters. Make you taller, huh? Yes. Make your chest bigger, huh? As Marissa suggests, these kinds of pages were the ones torn from the book. We believe the suspect ate them. Alright, so whoever stole this book wanted to be taller and have bigger boobs. Alright, chat, get your guessies out now. Who could possibly want to be taller with bigger boobs? Is that true? All the missing pages concern spells that can be used to enhance a woman's appeal. Spells meant to grow physical strength left alone, for instance. Sanai would do that? Listen, if fan art is anything to believe, Sanai does not need to do that. Trust me. So the culprit's goals would be... Guess she wanted to become prettier. Though I don't think Sanai needed anything like that, if you know what I mean. You see what I mean? She gets it! She gets it! Oh, I know. Sanai's already tall and she has such a nice figure. Is she that tall? I never saw her as that tall, but if Aya says so, I guess I have to believe it now. However, there's no limit to human desires, so this cannot be considered proof of the suspect's innocence. What are you talking about? Why would she steal spells that make her prettier when she's the prettiest thing on the planet already? Like, come on, that's an open and shut case. We don't even need to play this case. I already know she didn't do it. She saw me coming from a mile away. New information on the grimoire was added to the court record. Pages about spells that can change your size in various ways have been torn out. Incidentally, about this grimoire, have you spoken of it with anyone else? Oh, that's right. There was Mistia. One time, it was just the two of us at her stall. We got talking about height, and I might have brought it up. What are you talking about height? What? Why are these characters talking about height? And you're sure about that? You better ask her yourself. I can't remember what she said back then exactly. There's no time to waste. Let's go at once. Marissa, was there anybody else who might have known about these spells? What about Alice? I never tell Alice or Patchouli about this. They just steal all my ideas. Fine words from a thief. Hey, it ain't like that. I just borrow stuff sometimes. They can have it all back when I'm dead. If you keep that up, I'll worry we'll end up investigating your sudden and suspicious passing here soon. Don't bother, I'll just give that Shinigami the slip and be back before you know it. Wow, you get it all figured out, don't you, Marissa? The scary part is she might actually pull it off. This combo is what you call restored content. The flags in the original script aren't set properly, so it never actually fires. Oh, well, that's nice. The English translation actually makes an improvement. Anyway, we're gonna see Mistia now. Roadside for food stall. Misty is always moving that stall around, so it's never easy to find her. But it should be near the Forest of Magic this time. Ah, do you hear that? There she is. Look at those nails. I am a creature of the night, and yet I must work under the sun. For today is restocking day. I haven't had to hear that singing voice in a while. She's as loud as ever. Still, it's pretty impressive how she can always come up with lyrics and a tune on the spot. Isn't she just singing whatever goes through her head? Misty, do you have a bit of time to talk? What is it you want? Tengu? Please don't sing your answers. I'm a night sparrow. Singing is my life. You think you can deny me my purpose? I see you're as headstrong as ever. That's the only reason I can keep this business running when so many of my customers are human and yokai who are stronger than me. She's right. Well, there's some truth to that. But you see, I don't think most of the stronger humans and yokai wouldn't raise a fuss because they know that you're capable of making some damn good food, right? Now, obviously, if you fuck up their order, they might, throw a tantrum, but they wouldn't do anything to put their favorite eating establishment at risk. I'm not going to just accept it, but we don't have any time to waste, so let's just get this over with. Bird. Why are you showing me this? Ah, is this the grimoire Marissa told me about? This is my first time seeing it. So you did hear about it from Marissa. I asked her if there was a way to become taller with magic, and Marissa ended up telling me about it. So there is a connection, maybe. But why magic to become taller? When I have to deal with rowdy yokai, I don't want them to think they can push me around for discounts. The eatery business isn't easy either, She looks pretty tall to me. Well then, why not just wear platform shoes, or I could lend you some gaita. It's way too hard to walk in those. I don't like it. It might look like I just have to stand behind the counter, but I actually have to move around a lot. Alright, I understand. It's suspicious, but am I reading too much into it? A letter from Sanai? That has nothing to do with me. About last night. Hold on, I gotta look at my profiles. Momiji? My ever-reliable assistant, who's always ready to lend a hand when I'm in trouble, but this also means she's always there to see me embarrass myself. I like this music box rendition of Love Color Master Spark. Pretty good. The wind god served by Sanai, she's surprisingly frank and direct for a god, or maybe she only acts like that when Sanai is concerned. A god who's small in stature but great in dignity, and who'll take down anybody who messes with Sanai. Is it alright for gods to be so impulsive? Today's suspect seems her attempt at a simple act of kindness totally backfired. But with her looks, there's no reason for her to even want that grimoire. I'm a bit jealous. Now, I have a feeling the dev of this game... Listen to me. I have a feeling that the dev of this game likes this character. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A true blue Sanai fan. The famous maid detective we meet at every crime scene, she seems to pride herself on doing everything promptly and elegantly, whether it's serving tea or making arrests. The human magician of grimoire for original spells, which poured tireless efforts into the benefit of all. Situation needed. Has been stolen. Looks like it's going to be one of those role reversals. A night sparrow who runs a stall selling grilled lamprey. She puts in a lot of hard work, I'll admit, but it's a little worrying how two-faced it made her, having to hide her disdain for humans. Well, I wouldn't say that Mistia dislikes humans, but I guess different iterations of the character, up to you how she feels on that. I like the Mistia's izakaya version, where she believes that humans and yokai can get along, and she kind of strives to be a location where that can happen, where humans and yokai can just forget their differences and enjoy a meal together. I like that Mistia. I didn't get many customers last night. In the end, only Marissa and Alice came by. Only these two? There was a downpour in the middle of the night. When it rains, business dries up. And I heard that Marissa slept here until near dawn. Yes, I suggested she try some of my finest sake, and she ended up falling asleep on the counter. I left her alone for a while, but I had to send her home when closing time came at daybreak. So she was asleep for a long time then. Her snoring was very loud. What about Miss Alice then? She went home a little bit after Marissa fell asleep. Maybe it was her bedtime. Well, but one's a proper magician, so she doesn't actually need to sleep. But do you have proof of who came here last night? Eh? Are you doubting me? I was in the stall the whole night yesterday and no one else came. It's just in case. If you could give me something like that, it'd be a big help. Being a lawyer sounds like a lot of trouble. Wouldn't it be better off in a shop like mine? Maybe a place that serves grilled chicken? And you're no guide to the bamboo forest, so don't dare start thinking I'll be taking your sass lying down. How about I just send you and your cart flying instead? That's a good reference. That's a good reference. So okay. So what's it called? Bohemian Archive in Japanese Red. Aya writes an article about a fire that breaks out in the bamboo forest, and she talks to Moko. Moko blames it on a cigarette, like a loose cigarette. And when Aya kind of tries to push the subject, Moko makes mention about a grilled chicken stand, and it promptly gets Aya to back off. So that's what Misty is referencing there, and that's what Aya is shooting back with as well. That's a good reference. I like that. Aya, your temple's throbbing. Yeah. Probably not too happy with that one. Look, just show us proof and we'll be on our way. However, Mistia would never cook with birds, because the whole point of her stand is that she wants to provide food that does not require the use of birds. But she'll cook other meats, but she does not offer chicken or any kind of bird. The only thing in Mistia's izakaya that's a bird is the immortal turkey, which is not actually turkey, it's made of like tofu. Somehow it looks like a turkey. It's really weird, but there's no bird in it. Then is that good enough? My receipts. I have the date, customers' names, and orders all written down here. Thanks a lot. Whoa, did Marissa really drink all of this? That's right, and she put it all on a tab too, so collecting is going to be a pain. Does Marissa actually pay you back now? She comes up with some money if I go collect at her door. It's the same with the Hakude Shrine Maiden. If she has to deal with these two all the time, I guess it's no surprise she gets so cocksure. The stall receipts were placed in the court record with a sigh. Mistia's receipts. The only customers to come to Mistia's stall on the night of the incident were Marissa and Alice, and Marissa had quite a lot to drink. Please wait. What's the matter? These receipts? There's wet marks on them. They don't smell, so it's not sake. Oh, that. They got wet from the downpour last night, but you can still read it just fine. The writing is a bit smudged, but I think this will still work as evidence. I think so, too. Notes in the stall receipt were rewritten. The only customers to come Miss and Alice Mercer had quite a lot to drink. Due to the rain, the water spot smudged the writing a bit. That's convenient. Some details are now missing on the receipts. Oh. Looks like that's all we needed to ask. We'll be going now. I think we have a few things to ask Sanai. And Marissa, too. Something's bothering me. Then I'll sing you a farewell song. Goodbye, my friends. Let us meet again in paradise. Please, no foreboding songs. By paradise, I meant this shop. What kind of paradise is that? In the first place, just leave it be. We don't have a lot of time. She's getting on my nerves. I'll have to make sure to give her a rave review in the paper. The Night Sparrow's rip-off dive. What's the rip-off? Don't be so naive. I'll come up with some proof later. Right first, proof later. A lawyer really shouldn't be saying that, This is... What's wrong? I think something near here smells like Sanai. Ah, this is it. This thing? I can't tell what it's supposed to be at all, but it looks like it was made by hand. It's not just Sanai, I also smell scents from that stall on there. Can you tell how long it's been here? There's no way. Yesterday's rain is dampening it a lot. The smell was so faint I almost didn't notice it. Your nose sure is something, Momiji. As you'd expect from a good white doggy. I'm a white wolf, Tengu. You keep doing that on purpose, don't you? The mysterious object was added to the court record with a quizzical look. Oh no. Something we found near Misty it smells of Sanai in the stall. Bro, it was a fucking shoe. No. Stinky feet. No. What's this? You tell me, dog. Back to Marissa. That's a gator. You can tell because it's got the like it's got the ridiculous middle portion in it that like Tengu balance on. I love actually seeing poses where Aya is balancing on like one leg on those things because that's insane. Kirisame Magic Shop. Ah, Marissa, I just wanted to double check. Persistent, aren't you? I ain't changing my mind. You still think Sanai is the culprit, you mean? Yep, I know what I saw. On second thought, no point in starting a fight here. I'm sure she'll be testifying in the trial. You're just in time, Miss Shimemaru. Sakuya, you're still investigating. This house is like its own little forest of magic. But I mobilized all of our staff and we managed to put it in order. That ain't my fault. It was because the thief went through all my stuff. Everything was a mess when I came home this morning. But that would disqualify other magicians as suspects. Why can you say that? I actually have no idea why Gator are designed like that. They seem incredibly impractical, but at the same time, they're kind of cool. Is it just so they're hard to balance on? Is it just to show off for the Tengu? It also makes them look taller. Grimoires are imbued with magic, which magicians are able to detect, meaning a magician should have been able to find it at once. A regular Gator have like, yeah, they have the two slates, so they're kind of like, I wouldn't say sandals, but I want to call them like wooden sandals kind of deal. But the Tengu ones have the big fucking middle one. They're not like practical at all. And Sanai is a magician. But couldn't this be the true culprit's misdirection? If suspects were narrowed down to magicians, they'd be found out easily. Do you truly think so? I am sure the culprit would have preferred to leave the scene as quickly as possible. Marissa might have come home at any time after all. Wait a minute. You might be right, but... By the way, we found this during our search of the house. That's one of Mistia's feathers. But then... Guess there was one of those floating around. So what? That ain't surprising. Eh? That bird comes to hassle me about my tab all the time. Even though I already told her I'll pay it all back once I make it big. Oh, Marissa. It really does feel like we're on the verge of yet another incident. But the point still stands. Mistia Lorelei frequently visits those who owe her large tabs to collect money. This could have been left behind at one of those times. Seems she has a lot on her mind despite appearances. Now is not the time to be impressed. This is proof Mistia, who knows about that grimoire, has been going in and out of Marissa's house. Ah. And could the true culprit be... Mistia's feather was crammed to the court record in a hurry. A feather from Mistia's wings found in Marissa's house. There's no telling when and how it got there. Oh, here we go again. I cannot comment. Comment. This is... What could this be? Oh, I love the fast speed of this typewriter, man. Scarlet Devil Mansion holding cell. This is an exquisite delicacy that makes its subtle, smooth flavor known after a single bite. I am certain that there is only a scant few who can bake such exceptional cookies in the world. And they complement this black tea to perfection. I won't beat around the bush. 5 stars! Sanai? Ah, if it isn't Aya Momiji, have you discovered anything new? Before we get to that, what was up with that little show of yours? You might not know this, but I had a bit of a reputation as a food critic before coming here. The news to me. Miss Sakuya's tea and cookies are just so delicious, and before I knew it... Now remember, chat, if you've ever watched an anime in your life, all 2 of you... No, my chat's not full of weebs. Definitely not. But in anime, whenever a character experiences a meal, they turn into like a fucking 5-star food critic. It's insane. Me, if I eat food that's good, I'm just like, that's good. But like an anime character will just be like, yo, it's like the texture is flawless. And the sauce is well cooked to perfection. And it perfectly accompanies the texture. That's like, bro, it just tastes good as far as I don't know how to, I'm not a food critic. She might be the type who is always paying attention to the camera. I'm beginning to feel like maybe not defending her. These people might be better for Kensokyo. About the note. I never wrote any note. Once I realized Marissa wasn't home, I left at once. But then Marissa saw you walk out of her house? That's right. What awful luck. I would have had that grimoire in hand then too. But then who wrote that note? It had to have been the true culprit. You really think so? Eh? The inside of Marissa's house was a complete mess, and I couldn't tell you where anything was in there. I definitely didn't see anything to write with. But this note was written on paper with a pen, and a thief wouldn't want to dig around for those things at a crime scene. Anyway, it's clear I've been set up. I'm counting on you to prove my innocence. Of course I will. Come hell or high water. With all the damaging evidence that's turning up, it's more like hell and high water already here. Don't I know it? Present. This isn't something I wrote. You wanna tell me a little more than that? This is a bird's quill, isn't it? So you know something about this, Sanai? Eh? No, not at all. You're acting blatantly suspicious. Have you truly never seen this before? I don't know anything. I've never seen these stilts. Ah. So this is one of a pair of stilts, but has a very strange shape, doesn't it? That's how they are in the outside world. And did you ever go to Misty's stall on these stilts? They smell like her cooking. This is important, so stop doing that. While you may be my lawyer, I have no comment to make on this matter. I won't be able to defend you in that case. Please answer honestly. No comment. Say, I've been thinking of writing a feature on Gensokyo's loveliest ladies in the next issue of the newspaper. I could give you pride of place on the cover, Sanai. The ravishing wind priestess who can work miracles. I'll draw out all of your charms on behalf of your many fans. Imagine what you could do with that kind of publicity. Even so, no comment. But I can see you don't hate the idea. She's strong, mentally untouchable. Just give it up. The mysterious object has been properly identified as a stilt. Something we found as smells Sanai. There's no doubt Sanai was the one who brought it there, but she won't admit to it. Does Sanai want to be taller? How tall does she want to be? I bet she wants to be as tall as Kaneko. It's almost time. We have to go. That's right. But with only this much evidence, I don't know if we're going to win or even survive. Oh, shit. April 10th, 1351. Defend it, Lummy! Sanai, remember to behave yourself and do exactly as the lawyer says. Yes, that Tengu's supposed to be the best there is. Lady Kaneko, Lady Suiko, thank you so much. I promise I'll be acquitted and I'll return to you. Sanai! Lady Kaneko, Lady Suiko. What are they doing? Please don't ask me. Leaving that aside, if Sanai isn't the thief, who would the true culprit be? Somebody definitely comes to mind. But I still feel like there's something out of place. It's hard to believe, but do you think it's possible Marissa set this all up herself? Is there any reason Marissa might want to paint Sanaya as a criminal? I never considered that. So then, Aya, who do you think the true culprit is? That'd be... It looks like it's time for court to open. Now let's go! Aya, you're the defendant. Why are you so eager? I know myself to be innocent, that's all. I wish she'd share some of that boundless confidence with the rest of us. It's Wemi. Order! The trial of Sanaya Kochiya will now begin. Are both the defense and prosecution prepared? The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Very well, then first of all, the prosecution may deliver their opening statement. Understood. No matter how many times we go through this, I always tense up in the moment. The charge in this incident is larceny. The victim is Marissa Kirisabe. The defendant is Sanae Kochiya. And yes, you heard me correctly. Shortly before dawn on this April 10th, a grimoire was stolen from the victim's home and part of it was eaten. While the accused will not admit the deed, the evidence and testimony makes it clear that she is the culprit. That is all. A grimoire, and it was eaten. But isn't a grimoire a manual on magic? Yes, but this grimoire of the victim's own making is quite special. By eating the corresponding pages, even one with no aptitude for magic would be able to cast spells. Merely listening to this is upsetting my stomach. I am told the missing pages concern spells that can be used to change one's height or the size of one's chest, things of the sort. It appears the accused sought to keep this beautifying magic all for herself. That would be inexcusable. Oh, achy. Eh? What? Your Honor? A little bit of the truth slipped out of the old judge here, huh? Continue the proceedings. No way. Does the judge want those spells too? Now listen. Look at Aki's subordinate, right? When you see that every day, you know, you probably get a little jealous. Yeah, just a little bit. If you say that out loud, she'll hold you in contempt, so drop it. Now then, the defendant will take the stand. Hi, how you doing? Defendant, state your name and occupation. Sanae Kochiya. I am the Moria Shrine Maiden and a Wind Priestess. While I am pleased to find you are still more courteous than certain other Shrine Maiden, it saddens me to see you stand here as the accused. I swear it on the name of the Wind Priest who served the great Kanako Yasaka. So you deny the charge brought against you? Naturally. All I did was try to return that book to Marissa. And yet I am being treated like a criminal. Your Honor, I hereby lodge a protest against you. Sanae. Sanae, your tone. Watch your tone. Watch your tone. Should worse come to worse, we shall take justice in our own hands, so you needn't worry about a thing. This is the first time a defendant and her entourage have shown themselves so lively. The prosecution requests these disruptive elements be removed from the courtroom. Well then, I request the prosecution be removed from the courtroom. Can she do that? Can you do that? I can't get a word in. Things are getting out of hand already. Order! Order! The defendant and those in the gallery are to stay quiet. Should anyone disrupt the trial again, they will be made to leave the courtroom. But I'm innocent. If we can't encourage Sanae a bit, we'll be in trouble. In that case, Sanae, it's just as Kanako says. Sanae, please believe in us. I've won so many acquittals in this court, I can't even remember them all. Aya, I'll be counting on you. Let me tell you but one thing. You had best be well prepared. Today will be the day I expunge all of our grudges. Looks like you've gone and made Miss Vermilion mad somehow. It seems things have finally calmed down. The prosecution may now summon their witness to the stand. Does they? As expected, it's Marissa. And her testimony shouldn't be a surprise either. Witness your name and occupation. The name's Marissa Kirisame. My job's running the Kirisame magic shop. Guilty. Why are you passing judgment on the witness? Pardon me. You are here as a witness today. Strike this from the record. Whoa now, I really didn't do anything this time. I'm an honest-to-goodness victim here. You got frame one Donzide. I fear your past offenses speak against you. The judge doesn't put much faith in Marissa, huh? That might work to our advantage. When the time is right, we can go on the attack. Witness, pull yourself together. You need only tell them what you saw. Look, I'm just saying, Aki can only judge things in black and white, which means in the instance of Marissa, where she is both black and white, she is judged twice as hard. That's all it is. Yeah, I saw it with my own two eyes. Caught red-handed. I saw Sanae at the time I was coming home from Misty's food stall. It was just as she was stepping out of my house. I could tell she had a book in her hand. I tried going after her, but she had too much of a head start, so I gave up. But it really was Sanae, no doubt about that. Why'd you just shout? It's as we expected, but it sounds even worse hearing it all out there. What terrible luck to be caught in the act like this. If you wish to plead for mercy, now is the time. And we know Sanae really did go in and out of Marissa's house. But I'm sure there's some way I can challenge this, if only because we're done for if I don't. Are we really going to be fine? Well, I'll do something about this somehow. How far will that bravado take you, I wonder? I can't talk back when it's so obviously true. Bum bum. Caught red-handed. I hope everyone's been paying attention. That would have been near dawn. Yep, I conked out at Mystia's counter that night. And you still made it home in your state. My home and instincts never fail me. It's true that there are people like that who can always make it home no matter how drunk they get. We're drifting off topic. She's stepping out of my house. But was it really Sanae? What do you mean? The culprit could have disguised themselves as Sanae. Whoa there, she had that blue skirt, that white vest, and that bright green hair. There's no way it could have been anyone else. But there are other people who have green hair. Isn't that right, Your Honor? What are you implying? It's not like that. I just needed an example. Have you forgotten that aside from the victim, only the accused knew the secret of this grimoire? Hey, there's Mystia too. It could have been her. Well, how'd she get taller then? And just so you know, even if you eat the pages from my grimoire, it'll take a while before they start working. This is just not gonna work. It's true Sanae was there, so don't rush. We'll have to find some other explanation. I could tell she had a book in her hand. And that was the Stolen Grimoire, without a doubt? I don't think it could have been anything else, but I can't say that for certain, no. And why is that? I was too far to sense its magic. So there was quite a bit of distance between you and that person you think was Sanae. Well, I could tell it was Sanae, like I said earlier. So you did. This appears to be an eyewitness testimony we can trust. It's far too early to jump to conclusions. Is that right? I cannot say there is much likelihood it was someone in disguise. What should I do? I tried going after her, but she had too much of a head start, so I gave up. So you let her get away with your stolen grimoire right in front of you, just like that. Well, I had no idea she'd stolen something from me then. If I had known, I would have chased her down full speed ahead. But you usually go all out in everything you do. This isn't like you. Even I have off days every now and then. And Saki and the others sorted everything out for me, so it's all good, right? Marissa's wavering just the littlest bit. The littlest? Is that a word? Yeah, it is a word. That is a word. That's definitely a word. But I feel like any instance where the word littlest works, the word tiniest also works and like sounds better. You know what I mean? This could be the thread we've been looking for. But it really was Sanae, no doubt about that. So you maintain it was Sanae you saw. You're still going on about that. Sanae was one of only a couple people who knew about the grimoire and saw it with her own eyes, leaving the scene with a book. And she's not wrong. Sanae really did go into her house, but if I don't topple this testimony, we'll be finished. It doesn't look like there's any contradictions either, but if we can find a weakness... Is there even anything like that? Somehow Marissa's behavior feels a bit odd. Even then, it's no use. There aren't any openings. It's too early to be giving up. Let's look over the whole testimony again. I feel like something about it is different from what Marissa told us this morning, so let's solve that mystery. I guess so. And remember, we can press as much as we want to, so try it if you feel unsure. Well, I'll give it a shot. But is it really gonna work? Alright, hold on. I think it might be... No doubt about that, huh? Just gotta pick it up at our shrine. Customer mercer quite legit in the range. Spot a smudge. No, permit it. Scarlet Devil Mage's vampire stays prosecutor, heartlessly running down the opposition while sipping her trademark scarlet tea is her style. Clearly establishing right and wrong is her specialty, so she's pretty much the best judge we could ask for. But what if she wanted that grimoire for herself? I'm looking. Something different about what she told us this morning. I don't remember. But you know, the thing is, sometimes these kinds of cases have an instance where you have to press something with new informations. So you gotta double press everything. Yeah. Sakura and the others sorted it out. She's wavering there. Too much of a head start, so I gave up. No, not that one. Not that. Statement is obviously straight. Wow, I'm fucking up the first one, chat. The first one. Got profiles in the mix too, and there's so many of them. How does this relate to the testimony? Doesn't at all. It's alright, I made saves. Even if my brain is not working at max capacity right now, I'll get it eventually. That's the magic of Phoenix Wright. Picture of Marissa. This is fine. Saves are not checkpoint based anymore, so I can afford to do this. Alright. Objection overruled. Load her up. Okay. Double press. You're done. Still made it home in your state. Okay, hold on. Time for some rapid clicking. Woo! I could tell she had a book in her hand. That's the thing. She had a book in her hand. She could see that. What should I do? She had a book. Why would you? Okay, going after her. No doubt about that. Be near dawn. Yep. Step in, really, Sanai? What do you mean? Wait a minute, I think I got it. Wait a minute. Maybe I got it. Not so there's much likelihood it was someone in disguise. No, it's not that. Chat, this is not a good start. Oh no, I could tell she had a book in her hand. It's not the note, it's not the book itself. The receipts don't matter yet. There's no way this matters. I don't think it's profiles either, but I have no idea. Huh. Well, let's do a double press real quick. Double press. Feels a bit odd. There aren't any openings. Chat, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know what to present on what line here. Normally these things explain themselves once you do, but I don't see it. I don't see what it is. So now I shouldn't have known about the spells. Hold on. Let me try the note on all of these, because she shouldn't know about them, right? I don't know. I think I'm barking up the wrong tree. But I'll try it because I got nothing else to try. I really don't know. No, it's not that. So it's not her note. Oh. Alright. I could use a hand, because, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably obvious that I'm missing it, but I can't think of anything. I'm at the point where I just want to present on every text box. I have no idea. I double pressed everything though. But I double pressed everything already. It was the fourth one, right? This one. So it's that one, right? But I already pressed it before. So does that mean I have to present on this one? I have no idea. I have no idea. At this point, I just prefer the answer to move on with it. Because I'd like to do this case today. But if I'm getting stuck on the first option, I'm not going to do that. It's the receipts? How does that even make sense? What? Why? Why is it the receipts? Oh, wait. Your testimony may not have any inconsistencies, but I still have my doubts about its reliability. What do you mean? I see. I see. I understand now. Don't pay her any mind. There's no inconsistencies, and what reason is there to doubt the witness? Let me show you. What I have here are receipts borrowed from Misty's stall. Please take a look at Marissa's bill for last night. No matter how you look at it, you had far too much to drink. It's no surprise you fell asleep there. The witness snored through the night on that counter, that much we can confirm, but there isn't anything odd about this. Then allow me to ask you something, Ramilia. After binge drinking and passing out, is your judgment as sharp as it usually is just after you wake up? Ah. Well, I suppose the witness might have still been drunk when she got home. And when you realize that, Marissa's unexpected behavior makes perfect sense. She was so drunk she couldn't have chased Sanai, even if she wanted to. Alright, now I understand. However, I was, I was not on that train of thought for even a moment, so that would be why I did not piece that together. It makes sense now after the fact, but I did not see this at all, so whoops. You got me. Marissa. I saw Sanai walk out of my house with a book in hand, but I was pretty far. I couldn't feel the grimoire's magic, and I was still drunk, so I didn't go after her. And there is a case to doubt this testimony. If the witness was intoxicated, there is a risk she may have been mistaken. But the witness saw the accused with her own eyes. While I agree that seems to be the case, we must abide by the iron law of these trials, that being proven beyond reasonable doubt. You did it, Aya. The worst evidence against us is gone. Right. It shouldn't be too hard to prove Sanai is innocent now. It can't be helped. Your Honor, may the witness move on to the remainder of her testimony. I will allow it, but bear in mind anything she witnessed while drunk will be of dubious value. This is different, because the accused left conclusive evidence behind for the witness to find. Conclusive evidence. From the sound of her, I'm getting a bad feeling. Vermilia, can I tell him now? You may. But remember, I am the prosecutor here. Do not address me so casually. Lighten up, will ya? Well, whatever. I got this. The paper trail. The weird thing is the note Sanai left behind. She wrote about spells from that grimoire I never told her anything about. If she knew about all that stuff, she must have read through the book. Look at that smug expression. On top of it, that note had some real neat handwriting. And there was paper and ink lying around near where I found the note, but there weren't any pens. So Sanai must have written that note ahead of time and left it behind so she wouldn't be suspected. You know, it's like Marissa's a prosecutor too now. But Sanai told us she never left the note, so if we allow that testimony to stand, it'll be a problem. We have to find a contradiction somehow. Still, it's such a strange story. Taking that note at face value, it would be proof of Sanai's innocence, but Sanai herself insists she never wrote it. I think there could be a clue there. The true culprit might have gotten ahead of themselves with the trick. Sanai, I'd like to confirm again, you never left any letter for Marissa. Certainly not. I did go inside the house, but it was such a mess I couldn't find anything, and I didn't bring a note with me either. I did happen to see some ink and paper by chance, but there wasn't anything to write with. Sanai would never lie, so this must be true. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, that witness is just a filthy liar. So I'm a filthy liar, huh? Well, I'm not gonna sit back and take that. Why don't you come down here and try saying that again? Kaneko, I'm going. Don't try to stop me. I'm gonna beat the fear of the gods back in her. Hold me back. Of course, and I'll be by your side. Lady Kaneko, Lady Suiko. Sanai, if you don't say something, they're going to get themselves thrown out of the court. Fight hard. I'll be praying for your victory. Yeah. It's no use. Order! Order! You were warned. The defendant and the two from the gallery will be removed from the courtroom. Forcing out the defendant is a step too far. She has clearly been egging on the gallery. Bailiff, escort these three to the waiting room. Bailiff! Bailiff Onozuka! Komachi! It looks like our bailiff will have to be disciplined for slacking off again before she can carry out her duties. All parties concerned, please wait warmly until then. The Yama's gone back to her usual self. Well, there's nothing we can do but wait. But it'll be a problem if we can't get Sanai's side of the story. Kyan. I swear I didn't mean to leave you hanging. I was just busy with other stuff. Report to me for a proper lecture after the trial. You are far too apathetic to your duties. Yeah, I'll get right on it now. The proper response is yes. Just how many times are you going to make me repeat myself? Yes, so I just gotta bring him along. Party of three, I'll be your guide. Your fare for the crossing, please. I only got a little mixed up, that's all. And now let us resume the trial. I guess the judge does have it rough too. Move the mouse up and get ready to press. The weird thing is the note left. That Sanai left behind. That premise is flawed from the beginning. Sanai never left you any note. But if she came all this way to return a book to me, then she should have left a message, don't you think? Didn't Sanai explain that just a little while ago? There wasn't anything to write with in your house. Everything in there got thrown around all over the place, and she couldn't find a pen in the mess she made, huh? How the hell am I gonna get everything back in order? I feel like it was like that to begin with. Nah, I had all my stuff where I could find it, and Sanai messed everything up. Because she couldn't have found the grimoire easily without magic. She wrote about spells from that grimoire I never told her anything about. Specifically, she wrote about strengthening magic. And there were spells like that in my grimoire. Is it possible you did tell her about them and just forgot about it? Nah, it wasn't like that. Lately, I've been writing a grimoire that would make it so anybody could use magic if they ate its pages. That's all I told her about. And what did Sanai have to say about that? I can make miracles, so I don't need anything like that. And that was it. Then Sanai couldn't be the culprit. She didn't even bother asking you what kind of magic it'd be. Obviously, a prospective thief would feign indifference. That's only common sense. Sounds about right to me. Oh, Marissa. But if she had been interested, I'm sure you'd be calling that evidence. That argument won't get us anywhere. If she knew about all that stuff, she must have read through the book. You told me this morning that reading magic spells takes a lot of time, and Sanai, who delivered this book to your house after just finding it at a shrine, would not have had that time. But if Sanai's the culprit, then that's not the problem. Once she saw I'd left for Misty's stall, she'd have plenty of time to sneak in, find the grimoire, and read it. However, Sanai would have been in your house all night, with no way of knowing when you might come back. It doesn't make sense. So you got proof she wasn't there all night then? Indeed, evidence is everything in a trial. Surely you have proof on hand that will convince us all. Do you? I don't remember anything like that. Of course I don't. It's all just a bluff. That's what I thought. This is awkward. Then the defense will present evidence? I will decline to do so at this time. Exactly as I expected. Looks like this lawyer just can't cut it, huh? Well, if you ever need a defense again, you better not come to me for help. Yeah, I've defended you like twice, Marissa. On top of it, that note has some real neat handwriting. But didn't you think to examine that handwriting? Of course we did. We concluded it does not match the accused's usual writing. But then Sanai wasn't the one who wrote that note. Unfortunately, we cannot say that for certain. And why is that? While the use of spell cards is temporarily suspended, the same does not hold true for miracles and such. Wait, are you seriously suggesting Sanai used her power to disguise her handwriting? What kind of fucking miracle is that? It is, as I said a little while ago, claims are to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. If many possibilities exist, we cannot cleave one way or the other without evidence. Come on. And there was paper and ink lying around near where we found the note, but there weren't any pens. How would she have written this note without a pen? Don't ask me, she could have just brought one with her. Doesn't it feel like you've been contradicting yourself for a while now? You're the one being weird here. There's nobody who could have done it except Sanai, but you just keep saying it wasn't her. Marissa's completely convinced Sanai is the thief. She saw her stroll out of her house, so I suppose that's only natural. But I didn't think it'd turn into such a problem. So Sanai must have written that note ahead of time and left it behind so she wouldn't be suspected. But then she wouldn't the paper used to write that note be different with the kind you have at home. Sadly for you, it was written with ink and paper commonly sold at Korindo, very typical Tengu-made paper and Kappa brand ink. I am certain you have some at home as well. So it is. Then again, if you're getting stationery, this is the kind of thing you'd usually end up buying. It doesn't look like that line of questioning is going to get us anywhere. But there are contradictions all over Marissa's testimony. I just don't have the evidence to prove it. That's right. But that means the true culprit didn't really think that trick through. It could lead us to a breakthrough. Even if you say that. It's weird. Something obviously doesn't add up here, but I can't tell what it is. It might be that since there's so many contradictions, it's hard to keep track of things. Let's try to look at this in more simple terms. That might be best. Okay, hold on. I have an idea. She wrote about spells in the grimoire I never told her about. No, if she knew about this stuff, she must have read through the book. On top of it, the note, some real neat handwriting. There's paper and ink lying around near the note. There weren't any pens. Must have written the note ahead of time. I don't think that works because of this, right? Well, maybe not necessarily that. Well, my thought process is because it was raining. If she brought it ahead of time, well, wouldn't it be wet? But I don't know how when the rain stopped. Not that. Let's give it a shot. I got nothing to lose. I have an idea. Just gotta run with it. Okay. I wonder... I have to wonder. The one thing I have to wonder is if I'm correct in my reasoning, or if I just lucked out there. Let me just double check. Okay. We'll see. I will explain it to the class. There it is, the strangest part of the story, riddled with contradictions. What the? What's wrong with my testimony? Let's assume Sanai is the culprit like you said, Marissa, and that she brought a note she prepared ahead of time with her when she came to steal the grimoire. Sure. And you never told Sanai anything concrete about the content of this book. I told Misty a bit about it, but not Sanai, no. Splendid. So can you explain how she could have written about those spells in a note she prepared ahead of time? Oh, I see. What? Wait a sec. How'd that happen? Okay, I get it. She must have wrote it in my house after all. Then everything makes sense. Okay, no, I understand. Once again, my train of thought was wrong, but it led to the correct answer anyway. You walked right into that one. And what did she write that note with then? Where was the pen in the disaster area of a house? What's going on? I really saw Sanai coming out of my house, you know. So that note has to be something she wrote, right? The note was left by the culprit, but it wasn't Sanai. It's a pity she never noticed it when she was there. So you're telling me Sanai really did come in just to return the grimoire? That's it. We can be sure that whoever the thief was, it wasn't Sanai. You did it, Aya. With this, the trial's been brought back to the drawing board. But the true culprit's still... Uh-oh. Why now? What is it? Was this whole testimony not based on a misunderstanding on the part of the witness? Good grief. Words fail me. You think this testimony is invalid merely because there was nothing to write with in the victim's house? You are the ones who are gravely mistaken. Don't be ridiculous. You've had just the thing among the evidence you carry with you the whole time, so let's see it. There's nothing like that. If the prosecution is prepared to go so far, then present this evidence. That might have significant implications on the credibility of this testimony. Was there really anything like that? Some sort of tool you could write with? Yeah, there was. Is this not a night sparrow's feather? Oh, I getcha. A quill pen. In my residence, using these is quite usual. Come on, who else in Gensoki would think to use something like that? But you could write with this if you had ink, and that means... Yes, in brief, the accused wrote that note with this quill pen in order to camouflage her crime. It appears the situation has not changed after all. If there is no contradiction in the witness's testimony, Aya, we can't allow that. We're getting a guilty verdict at this rate. But in the end, there was a way Sanai could have written the note, even if it was with a weird quill pen. Ah, that's it. We can push there. Wait, does that create another contradiction? In that case, the verdict... Wah! What is it now? The bail is sleeping in the nook of the gallery. It looks like she hasn't learned her lesson yet. Your Honor, you can yell at her as much as you want, just as soon as we get a verdict. Whoops, quite right. The defendant... There is a serious issue with the witness's testimony. It seems it is the defense's turn to make a ruckus. I had hoped that after the defendant in the gallery, we'd have enough of that already. It's only an unsightly final struggle. There's no need to humor this. The defense will be allowed to speak one more time, but this is not convincing. That will be it. This series really loves its maximum penalty moments, doesn't it? Like, holy shit, dog. Why even give me an HP bar when every second choice is a full-ass fucking blowout? I understand. The new inconsistency in Marissa's testimony is you'd have to read the grimoire to know its content. The note had very neat handwriting. There was ink and paper near the note. Oh. It's the handwriting, right? The problem is that the note's neat handwriting. And where is the inconsistency? As I said, this is only the desperate squabbling of a sore loser. Well then, Remilia, you know about writing brushes, right? I know of them. We do not use any at the mansion. And I'm sure you have exquisite handwriting befitting the mistress of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, but could you live up to those standards using one of my brushes? Obviously not. And now I walked right into that one, didn't I? Hey, what's wrong, Remilia? Why are you so quiet? As Remilia said, it's obvious. Even if your handwriting is usually flawless, using a completely unfamiliar tool is a different story. Moreover, if Sanae really was the true culprit, she would have no way to know when Marissa might come back, and she would need to worry about that too. She wouldn't have time to be fixing her handwriting. In short, this note could not have been written by Sanae. I feel I must agree with the defense. It seems increasingly likely that this note was some sort of fabrication. I don't believe it. So who stole the grimoire then? There is another person who knew about its spells, and the defense requests they be called as a witness. Another? That would be Mistia Lorelei. Summoning someone as a witness just so you can treat them as a true culprit is against the rules. Huh? Since when? That's like the MO to this fucking game. But it will be difficult to establish the guilt or innocence of anyone who knew about this grimoire without hearing their story. I will support the defense's request. Remilia literally just put out a statement that goes against everything Phoenix Wright is known for. Great job, Aya. The real fight is still to come. As far as I can tell, no one except Mistia could be the culprit. But her only tie is that she knew about the grimoire. Won't she say she was at her stall the whole night of the incident? I'll tear it all apart. If only because Sanae will be found guilty if I don't. Things might get complicated, like usual. If that is all, court will go into recess until the witness can be summoned. Let me tell you this here and now. What? I will be doing you this one favor, so I'll not brook any complaints later, no matter what happens. I'm getting a terrible feeling. Does she still have something up her sleeve? You know, that reminds me, chat. One of my favorite cases in Phoenix Wright is probably Justice for All, Case 4. The final case of that game. That might be one of my favorite cases in general. It's such a ride. It's such a good climax to a game, personally, I think. I think Justice for All is one of the best final cases. I mean, Trials and Tribulations also has a fantastic final case. Well, actually, I guess the first game also... They all have fantastic final cases. I don't know who I'm fooling. But I really did like... I like Justice for All's a lot. But they're all really good. They're all really good final cases. Apollo's is fantastic, too. Aya, it looks like I'm saved, thanks to you. No, we're just back to the drawing board. Leaving that aside, is it fine for you to be here? And with Kaneko and Suiko, too. That Shinigami bailiff is skipping work as always, so how are we to know? We'll just sneak back into the gallery for the next round. That's good to hear. What's wrong, Sanae? You're making faces again. The next witness, it'll be the Night Sparrow from the food stall. Right, Mistia? Just between you and me, I don't think the true culprit could be anyone else. As far as that's concerned, I think you're right. But, Sanae, is something the matter? You've been acting oddly for some time now. Has that bird been giving you any trouble, Sanae? It's nothing. This might be connected to the truth of this case. Please tell me. Sanae! It's already time. We have to get back in court. And make sure you all behave yourselves this time. It'll be a problem for us if you get thrown out again. I realize that, but Sanae isn't being her usual self. I've got a bad feeling about this. It's extra worrying when it's a god saying it. Bomb. We will now resume the trial. First of all, let the witness take the stand. Bird. Witness, what is your name and occupation? My name is Misty Lorelei, and my business is grilling lamprey. This is not the time or place for song. Please speak normally. I am a night sparrow. I can't be at ease if I don't sing. My name's Misty Lorelei. I run a grill lamprey stand. You would be quite an exemplary witness if you could refrain from singing. Singing for the song's own sake is what it means to be a night sparrow. Look at the size of her nails. She's always so pushy, no matter who she's up against, even though she's a weakling. Oh, really? You would get it if you ever fought her yourself. I could beat her with one hand tied behind my back. Miss Tengu. Yeah? I'll make you eat those words. Because words is what we'll be fighting with this time, not bullets. She's just asking for it now. I'm seriously gonna send her flying into space. Now. So could this have been the terrible feeling you've been talking about? No way. It's something much bigger than that. But there's no doubting she's involved in this now. So, what should I do? First of all, tell us about the night of the incident. What were you doing at that time? Got it. Try and come up with an alibi if you can. I'll tear it apart all the same. Open all night. I had to stay in my stall the whole time that night, of course. Because Marissa had gone to sleep there, you see. I'd recommended some of the finest sake I keep to her, but I didn't think she'd fall asleep on my counter. I had to wake her up just before dawn since it was time to close up shop. But she tottered off home, but I never could have thought there'd been an incident that night. Oh, I kind of read that wrong. Well, that was to be expected. You could not leave your precious stall and customer unattended. There do not appear to be any oddities in this account. In which case, the culprit would have been the defendant, who was the only other person to know the grimoire. Like I thought, it was pretty straightforward testimony. But no one except Marissa could be the true culprit, so she must be lying. And how do we prove that? Our only choice is to press forwards and find out. Open all night. Hold on, does Misty usually have a piercing and I've never noticed it? What's up with that? Misty, Lorelei. She does. Her nails are also green, very sharp. What ear is pierced? Not both of them, right? It's kind of weird looking. Hold on. It's her left ear that's pierced. That's weird. Huh. No, okay, but see, so her ear is pierced here in the game, right? But in her IN artwork, it's not pierced. It's facing the same position, but the thing is that in her Touhou 9 art, her ear is pierced. But it's her, what do you call it? It's her right ear. Maybe they're both pierced? Wait, well, there's an illustration from Perfect Memento where the piercing is on her left ear again. And I can't tell if there's a piercing on her right ear because I can't tell if that's just a line. And in Hopeless Masquerade, she has no earrings, but she's wearing thigh highs. Wild. She's got no piercings in that one. What about Bohemian Archive? She has no piercings in Bohemian Archive. No piercings there either. She has no piercings in her band. And she has no piercing in the Who's Who. That's so weird. What about... Oh, but there's the piercing in Sengetsu-sei. Again, on the left ear. Why is this so inconsistent? Alright. Alright. That's... Okay. So she has a... She can have her... She has an earring on her left ear sometimes, and sometimes she has an earring on her right ear, and sometimes she doesn't have piercings at all. Look it up. Search it up. You see all the official artworks, and you see there's inconsistencies in the piercing. That's so weird. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not there at all. And I don't think there's ever an instance where they're on both ears, but they're almost always on the left ear. They're always on the left ear, but then there's a few instances where they're on the right ear. How confusing, man. How confusing. You were really stuck there all night, even though you barely got any customers. It's true that only Marissa and Alice came by, but there are days like that. Well, wouldn't you be better off closing shop on days like that? In the restaurant business, you have to open shop even if you feel no customers will come. You know, one interesting aspect of Mystia, I find, is when it comes to, like, the characters, like the Baka squad, you know, those characters, like Wriggle, Chirno, and Rumia, those three characters in particular are often portrayed as, you know, small, fairy-esque. And I'm not counting Daiose because Daiose is a bit of a special exception. But with Mystia, I find Mystia can be portrayed... Mystia is often portrayed as being, like, just as small and squishy as them. But I also, like, sometimes you see art of Mystia where she's definitely a lot more, grown, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you'll see art of her where she's squishy, and then sometimes you'll see art of her where she's like a mature professional yokai kind of deal. So like there's like a contrast in her appearance, I suppose, compared to the other characters. Daiose is kind of similar. I've seen art of Daiose where she's pretty much Chirno size, but I've also seen art where she's, you know, it plays on the whole big fairy aspect and makes her a fairy that's a little bit larger than the others, both in size. She's kind of like a mother of the group kind of deal. Anyway, that's just what I was thinking. I think it has to do with the fact that Mystia has, like, you know, her job, so to speak. Well, it is her job. It's what she does. Well, but like Wriggle and Chirno and Rumia just kind of, you know, they just do what they want. But Mystia gets grouped up with them. But as characterization went on, she started running a business. So I guess she looked more mature to a lot more people as a result of that. But in Mystia's izakaya, she's also small and squishy, but she's still running her business. In the restaurant business, you have to open shop even if there feel no customers will come. It's nothing like throwing newspapers around wherever and whenever you like. Do you have any idea how much trouble I go through before I can even deliver those newspapers? No one ever agrees to an interview, and then it turns into a Danmaku battle, and then I have nothing to write about, and then the paper can't be published. You're getting off topic again. Whoops, my bad. Because Marissa had gone to sleep there, you see. Misty is also in a band, so she's definitely, you know, like, either interpretation of the character is fine with me, because I think when the character is portrayed as, like, Chirno-sized, it fits better for her when she's hanging out with Chirno and co. But when when Mystia is alone and, like, doing her, you know, doing her business, like running her stall, it makes more sense to me for her to be portrayed in a taller, more like mature fashion. Like, I can't really imagine like Chirno-sized Mystia running the stall, but at the same time, I can't really imagine stall running Mystia size running around with Chirno and friends, you know. But like, it's all a matter of art style anyway. It's a matter of art style anyway. They're both good. They're both good. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can enjoy either or, but it's just personally, I find that one iteration of the character meshes better with one thing, and another iteration meshes better with another. Both aspects of the character, like the character's characterization. That's all. I know Marissa loves sake, but she really drank until she passed out. At first, she was just drinking while talking about all sorts of things with Alice, and when I served her some of my special sake, she couldn't get enough of it. Sparrow sake, baby. I feel like there's something she did on purpose. When Marissa is asleep, she'd have a perfect opportunity to carry out the crime. Oh, whoops. Press further. So does this mean Marissa left Alice hanging to drink your sake? While they were still talking, even though I heard the magicians didn't get along. Do they not? But I haven't heard what happened with those two yet. Please explain properly. My headphone cord is tangled and I've had to unplug it and I'm trying to get it back in and I can't hear anything. Sorry. Got it. Got it. Okay. Let me add it to my testimony. Marissa fell asleep a little before midnight and then Alice went home. Where did my mouse go? Right. I got it. Okay. And Alice didn't try to wake Marissa. Maybe she was shocked Marissa just slumped over and started snoring. She only paid for her own bill and left. And you didn't try to wake Marissa either, Mistia. I figured she'd come here on her own eventually, but she slept until it was almost dawn. You must have known she wouldn't wake up anytime soon, drunk as she was, since it was your special sake she'd be drinking. I guess so. It's far too suspicious in so many ways. I'd recommend some of the finest sake I'd keep to her, but I didn't think she'd fall asleep on my counter. I've heard that Marissa has built up a big tab already, but you still offered her drinks. It's true her tab's been piling up, but she does pay her up to time from time to time. If she didn't pay me anything at all, I'd have banned her from my shop a long time ago. Fair enough. So it looks like Marissa isn't a complete deadbeat. Oh, remember, in Mistia's Izakaya, Marissa pays the most. She has the biggest budget of any character. You can just feed her a bunch of like crazy expensive stuff and she'll just keep asking for more. But if it was quality sake, it must have been expensive. Wouldn't be bad for business if it turned out she can't pay for it. I have plenty of good customers who pay properly, so you don't have to worry about it. Apropos of nothing, some of my staff visit you often, I've heard. Oh yes, Miss Sakuya and Miss Mailing are some of my favorite customers. They always pay for everything every time. If I remember right, only customers she likes get the miss. And I take it Marissa isn't part of that exclusive club. But Mistia still offered her best sake to Marissa. She must have done that for a reason. I had to wake her up just before dawn since it was time to close up shop. And if you just left Marissa sleeping there all night, that feels strange to me. I don't think it's that strange. It's up to me to decide my business hours. But you just stood there listening to Marissa snore while waiting for customers that would never come. That's what working in the eatery business is like. You must have patience to succeed. But that's just unnatural. You let Marissa, who's not even close to be a good customer, have some of your best sake, and then you had to deal with her sleeping on your counter all night. It's got a point there. If this is so unnatural, then why don't you try showing some evidence to back up your claims? How about it, Aya? I'll pass this time if you don't mind. Twice now you've asked me to turn a blind eye. You're starting to build up quite the tab yourself. Ooh, good bant. Who says I owe you anything? Then she tottered off home and I never could have thought she'd be at an incident that night. So Marissa was still drunk. She walked like she was, but it sounds like she still made it home. And after that, you closed up shop. Since today is restocking day, I went home and tried to take a nap, but Miss Sakuya came to ask some questions. That was when I heard about the burglary. Understood. There are some strange parts, but I can't find anything decisive. I didn't think it would be this hard. If that's all, then my testimony is over. Can I go home now? You'll only have to wait a little longer. The judge will be delivering her verdict in any moment. The defense's cross-examination isn't done yet. Then why don't you continue asking questions? But it seems you've run out of retorts. Your Honor, the verdict, please. So the other individual aware of the grimoire has an alibi. And what of the defendant? Why don't we ask Alice? She claims she was sleeping at home, but no witness can confirm this, of course. And while there is no direct corroboration here either, it seems likely the witness was at work until dawn. It would have been strange to close up shop and leave the victim unattended with her sleeping there. Of course, I keep my shop open every night, unless the weather is too awful. The weather? Momiji, what's the matter? No, it's just a hunch I have. In that case, the time has come for a verdict. The weather. Ah! That was surprising. And once again, it is the defense making a ruckus. What is it this time? Please hold the verdict just a moment longer. There's a definite contradiction in Misty's testimony. I won't allow this blatant stalling. This is no stalling. I have clear evidence. This is proof of a contradiction in Misty's testimony. It's the water. Yeah, the weather, the rain. This is the stall's sales receipts for that day. Yes, and this evidence reveals a hidden contradiction because Marissa, who isn't a good customer, was served drinks, stealing customers that night with Marissa and Alice. The receipt is wet from the rain that fell that night. And what does that mean? You don't understand. I am sure I would if you could explain yourself properly. Oh, I feel that achy. Very well, as you can tell by looking at this paper, there was a downpour in the middle of last night, and that is where the contradiction lies. Mistia, what do you do when it suddenly starts raining during business hours? I keep the shop open. It might stop after a little while, even on that night, if it's just a shower. Splendid, but you would want to send a drunk customer home just in case, wouldn't you? A customer who had a large bill to pay that night. In other words, Marissa. Isn't it odd you didn't wake her up when it began to rain? But she was sleeping like a log and snoring. This isn't what an ardent business sparrow would do. Ardent, not arduent. No you there. Recommending Marissa your best sake all on your own and not waking her and sending her off even though she was sleeping in the rain. That's... I'll get to the point. Mistia, were you in your stall when it started raining? Well... It wouldn't make any sense for her to leave her stall alone with a sleeping customer for no reason. No, she had a clear reason to do all this. Because while Marissa was sleeping, Mistia sneaked off into her house and stole the grimoire. I see. It was quite unlikely the victim would wake up on her own after having this much alcohol, so the witness could commit the crime and come back without worry. Is that what you're trying to say? That's right. Continue your testimony. Huh? I'm telling you to continue your testimony. Her alibi has completely collapsed. Isn't that enough? Regrettably, all suspicions against the accused have not been cleared yet. This next testimony will tell us why. If there is still testimony we have not yet heard, then it is too early to decide guilt or innocence. Is there really anything else? Ah, it couldn't be. Sanai? Oh, no, it's nothing. Sanai's panicking again. What's with this incident? The miracle of the food stall. This time was Sanai came by my stall some days ago. I was shocked because she'd become much taller. When I couldn't help but wonder how she'd done it, she told me it was the amazing power of miracles. She's wearing stilts. But thinking about it now, it must have been the magic of Marissa's grimoire. Since there was else to change your height in there. Oh no. What's going on here? That story? I haven't heard anything like that before. It appears it paid off to leave this testimony for last. Whatever do you mean? Have you not been saying the grimoire was stolen before dawn earlier today? It is not the grimoire that was stolen, but its pages. And some could have been taken before today. Oh, I get it. She'd stolen that spell that would change your height. Then she tricked me and she said it was one of her miracles. But Sanai is as tall as she always was now. How do you explain that? Were you not listening? This was not a spell that makes you taller, but a spell that changes your height. She can also use it to return to normal. That's true. But could a miracle actually change your height? It's a miracle. Sure it can. Sanai, did you really become taller? I read chat and then I went to read the thing and I... No comment. Sanai, it's your lawyers asking. You've got to answer. And what's with that smirk? What do you know? Defense, if you do not begin your cross-examination, then it will be time for the verdict. Wait a moment. I'll do it. That was that laugh. I heard that laugh earlier in the game. Bum, 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 bum. And was that before or after you heard of the grimoire from Marissa? I'm sure it was before. So you wouldn't have thought magic spells were involved at the time. I'd hear rumors Sanai could make miracles happen, so I didn't suspect anything. In that moment, why does she keep leering at Sanai? And Sanai keeps flinching, like a certain someone's got a hold of her weakness. I was shocked because she'd become much taller. Just how tall was she then? Well, she was nearly as tall as Miss Yukari, who comes over sometimes. That's tall. And Yukari is very tall. But did Sanai really get that much taller? That's why I had to ask her about it. But when I couldn't help but wonder how she'd done it, she told me it was the amazing power of miracles. The power of miracles, was it? Sanai, do you really have that kind of power? It just doesn't sound very likely. How many times do I have to say no comment before you get it? Why are you yelling at me? I'm the one who should be yelling at you. Sanai, please calm down. We're your allies here. Even between allies, there are things you can't speak of. Kanako, Suako, do you know anything about this? Let me think. Huh? Say, the one day Sanai went to that stall, wasn't she wearing a skirt that was way too long? Is that right? Ah, I do remember. I saw Sanai washing that skirt the very next day. What's so remarkable about that? It was not a laundry day, so it stuck out in my mind. That would mean it got dirty. That's not particularly strange, is it? Maybe she had too much to drink and fell over. But even if Mistia saw something like that, wouldn't that really be worth reacting like this? What on earth is going on? But thinking about it now, it must have been the magic of Marissa's grimoire. What's with the leap of logic? But that's the only thing I can think of. And Sanai would have known about the grimoire. Could be. I told Sanai about it around a week ago. So Sanai sneaked. That's such a weird word. Sneaked. It sounds fake, but it's not a fake word. Into Marissa's house today before today and stole only the spells to change your height then. Dang. It ain't impossible. After I told Sanai about the grimoire, there was one other night I was out of the house. And when was that? Remember when the bunch from the underworld dropped in at Rainbow Shrine and it turned to a party? That was when. I don't remember that. When did that happen? Besides, you were there too, weren't ya? Shut up and all. I just happened to be passing by. And then you started drinking all our booze. Oh, right. And Sanai wasn't at that party. Then she had an opportunity to commit the crime. Even if she had to turn the whole house upside down, she could have put everything back if she had all night. What's going on here? It's just Mistia, right? So why is she the one in charge of the trial, right? But Miss Vermilia's not saying anything about it. She must have known about this from the beginning. Even if you realize that now, it's far too late. But that would mean the defendant stole from this grimoire twice. That is the prosecution's position. What brazen misconduct from a servant of the gods. This calls for a severe punishment. That's not good. The judge is turning against Sanai. Since there were spells to change your height in there. So you're saying that in the beginning, Sanai only stole those spells. Maybe she thought she'd test it out first, to see if the magic really worked? But why would she test with you of all people? It'd make more sense to show Kanako or Suako. I'm not the one you should be asking that, but I don't think Sanai will be telling you anything. Come on, keeping quiet isn't doing you any good. That's a problem. We can't get a clear picture if Sanai won't tell us anything. But it feels like the answer has to do with her, right? Don't tell me. Something wrong. There are other ways to change your height. Have you figured something out? It appears the defense's cross-examination is done, so please move on to the verdict at once. I'd appreciate it. I still have to restock the shop after this. It seems you have it tough as well. Then we will proceed right away. My cross-examination isn't over yet. Mistia's testimony is a pack of lies. Still clinging to hope, you're quite obstinate, but I won't allow you this time. Come now, you can just put this on my tab too. It'd be a big help. Ooh, that banter. Good bant, good bant. I'll hear you out just one last time. Make it quick. I guess you do have a verbal contract now. Forget about that and help me pick out the evidence. The reason Sanai's height changed, it has to be this. What else could it be, my guy? What is this? You can't do that! Like I thought, it's related to this thing. Sanai, this is for the sake of proving your innocence, so please bear with it. And what is the meaning of this? It's quite simple. Sanai used this to change her height. As we've been informed, Sanai wore an exceedingly long skirt on the day she visited the stall. She must have done so in order to hide she was on stilts. I'm sure it was only a passing fancy of hers, but it was too embarrassing to talk about. All the more so if you fell down right in front of Mistia, Sanai. I'll never play a stupid trick like this one again. She couldn't possibly have kept her balance at all on this. It's more like a tall, flimsy gator than a stilt. That is a fair point, but have you considered Sanai has a great sense of balance. Sanai can fly. Sanai can make miracles happen. That is far too vague. How did she keep her balance concretely? Well, because it was miraculous. That is not an explanation. Come on. Settle down. The answer might be simpler than we think. I thought that was a pretty simple answer. She can fly? I will concede that is correct, but what does that have to do with this? If she can fly, then it should be possible for her to float. At worst, you can pretend to walk and then plant your stilts on the ground. That's a thought, I suppose. It seems this was a rather simple trick after all. There was no need for any magic. That's how it is. It's been proven that Sanai never used any of Marissa's spells. You've done it, Aya. It was all thanks to you, Momiji. If you hadn't found that stilt. Uh-oh. Why? Has everything not been settled? I did not want to stoop to this, but the defense has built up quite a tab with me, and I will be collecting now. The verdict has already been decided on. Why are you bringing that up now? That's invalid. You have accepted you owe the prosecution a debt. That is an immutable fact, and I can testify to that. Come on. Thank you very much, Your Honor. This might be contrary to the norms, but please allow me to present further evidence here. Further evidence? You had something like that. Isn't this illegal? As I have said, I did not want to resort to such tricks, but I must win at all costs this time. Do forgive me. You will be allowed to present this evidence, if only because I have promised to bear witness. Oh, wow. She actually slipped around the rules. This is so unfair. But we had no other way to drag Misty to court. This is the prosecution's remaining evidence. What? Doesn't it look like she just like the stilt we have? It is no use presenting the exact same evidence. Overruled. No, take a closer look. The leg on this stilt is clearly shorter than that of the defense's evidence. That is true, yes. Oh, please. Why did this have to show up, too? Nai's losing her cool again. Well, I have no idea what's what anymore. This is something Sakuya found at the witness's stall when she went to ask questions about last night. It was lying a little ways off the path. In all honesty, I couldn't fathom what this might mean, but Asaki was puzzled by it. I kept it on hand. When the defense prepared this evidence before the trial, I realized this forms a pair with the stilt they discovered. As I could not confirm They were tied to the case before I did not speak of them, and for that I apologize. And what is the significance of this evidence? It is simplicity itself. No one would ever try to walk on a pair of uneven stilts. That doesn't matter. I've already explained how Sanae could float. She could fake walking like that. Have you tried imagining it? If you floated wearing stilts of different lengths, the short one would always be left hovering above the ground. That's true, but... if you tried walking like this, fake or not, you'd have to be conscious of every step. And these stilts are unstable to begin with. No one could possibly be fooled. That's... what's going on? Sanae, did you really go to the stall on uneven stilts? I can't answer, but please just forget about this. You are making my case so difficult. That is something you will never hear. The shame would be too much to bear. It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't rhyme. Sanae, if you just tell the truth, you'll be acquitted. That is not necessarily the case. As the prosecution has shown, it does not seem possible that anyone could walk convincingly in these stilts. Therefore, there is no longer any proof of the testimony of the witness was a lie. You're kidding me. Sanae never cast any spells. Then let us see proof of this. Misty's whole testimony was full of contradictions, so there has to be another hole somewhere. Proof that Sanae never used magic. And she could only use magic if she stole pages from the grimoire. We have to show she didn't do that. Defense, if you have evidence to present, do so at once. Time is running short. Oh, is it? My only choice is to show it to them. Proof that Sanae didn't commit this crime. I don't know. It's not the book. That is certainly evidence. I did ask that you show us proof, but this isn't quite what I had in mind. Proof of incompetence. So there has to be a hole in Misty's story somewhere. It'd be such a strange play to begin with. Why would Sanae commit the same crime twice? The same crime twice. The answer has to be there. Is it the note? Okay, it was the note. Is this not the note we heard so much before? And this can prove your case. It can and it will. According to Misty's testimony, Sanae would have stolen spells from the grimoire days ago and only taken spells that would change her height at the time. Indeed. That is correct. What about it? Then pages would have been torn from the grimoire twice. First before the day she went to Misty's stall, and once again this morning. That is the prosecution's stance and is entirely logical. No, there's something extremely strange about this. Let's assume Sanae is in fact the criminal. Sanae would have sneaked into Marissa's house and stolen spells from her grimoire once before, and then she did the same thing again this morning. Get to the point already. Gladly. If the first theft went without a hitch and Marissa never noticed a thing, why would she take the book and leave a note signed with her name the second time? I didn't think of that. That clearly does not make any sense. It would ensure the crime would be discovered. A perfect crime would have already been accomplished. Deliberately leaving a letter bearing your own name would be a ridiculous blunder. It's been almost definitely proven that Sanae didn't write this note earlier, leaving us with only one possibility. Mistia, the true culprit was you! What? How can you even say that? No one but you would think to write this note with one of your own feathers. I didn't think I'd be found out so easily. Mistia, you're admitting it just like that? It was me who stole that grimoire from Marissa's house. When she told me about it, I wanted it so badly. Damn, she caved so easily! Is that how it was? I have the finest singing voice in all the land, but I still look like this. You look fine! I needed those spells to become the glamorous diva I am meant to be! So you could not wait to grow up. How deplorable. There's no way you could ever understand the feelings of Gensokyo's unsung songstress. Okay, fine, but why did you have to go out of your way to drag Sanae into it? What might it be, you all wonder? The truth lost in a grove. Mistia, now's not the time to be playing around. Why don't you just take a guess? The lawyer who saw through my crime should have no trouble figuring it out. Mystia has always looked down on humans to begin with. Couldn't that be it? I don't think so. There's more to it than that. Does that ring any bells, Sanai? So even if Mystia will confess to the crime, you still won't talk. That is something you will never hear. The shame would be too much to bear. That song again. No one asked for an encore. That might turn out to be a hint. There has to be an answer among the evidence we've already seen. So whatever it is, it's embarrassing for Sanai. What? Is it her profile? What in the world are you trying to prove with this? This isn't gonna do it? Take it from me, it has nothing to do with it. Let's just reconsider. Misty is reason for framing Sanai. I thought it was because he was jealous. Misty, I must have burned you up to think one of the humans you looked down on was making fun of you. When Sanai showed up at your stall taller than ever and told you it was all thanks to the power of her miracles, you believed her, didn't you? But she was just standing on stilts, something even you could do, and you became convinced she'd done it just to mock you. Shall I just come out and say it? Those stilts are different lengths because you hacked them down to size with one of your kitchen knives, aren't they? Perhaps she'd gotten Sanai dead drunk like Marissa, and when you woke her up at closing time, she stood up in a rush, and I can imagine what came after. I don't want to remember it. It's so embarrassing. I just kept falling down over and over again. Sanai, so that was it. Mistia, this is as far as your revenge will go. You'll be found guilty, but you'll still have the Grimoire's magic. Isn't that enough? I lost in the trial, but in the end, I'm still the winner. That's all I have to say. Mistia, I think she was prepared for this. And she did it all to become more beautiful. It seems the karma of this matter runs quite deep. Or maybe I cannot help but let my profession's outlook bleed out into my free time. In any case, now that the true culprit has confessed, the verdict is a foregone conclusion. Oh my god, we're still not done. Again? What now? Why is the prosecution interfering? The true culprit has been found without a doubt. I will not contest the culprit has been exposed and her motive is clear. But there is still one possibility we have not considered. A possibility. It is possible that both suspects were accomplices, both of them knew of this grimoire, and they might have colluded to commit this crime. However, no one has benefited from the theft yet, so it could be one of them betrayed the other. And you cannot deny that the accused had the grimoire in her possession without a doubt, so she might have stolen pages from it herself. Oh, Remy is not backing down. That can't be! Sanai is completely innocent. I'll make myself clear. I want to see proof the accused never took anything from that grimoire. Come on. Mistia, you have to tell him the truth. You did this all on your own, right? Mistia! Momiji, give it up. She's not going to help us. You're right. But if someone ate some pages and used those spells, shouldn't something have happened by now? Not for sure. Magic can vary on a case-by-case basis, but it should take about half a day to take effect. Your Honor, we only have to wait for effects to show and everything will be clear as day. The verdict. Unacceptable. You must present a proper case. Seriously? This is the final bout. Let's consider every angle we can. So just think it through one more time. Sanai didn't take anything from that grimoire. I have to make them understand that once and for all. You aren't out delivering your newspaper, so stop throwing around garbage. No, but I have to present something. I might not feel like looking at your gossip rag either, but I want to look at this trash of yours even less. Ugh. Hang in there, Aya. Proving something wasn't done isn't easy. Then let's think in reverse. Even if we can't show that Sanai didn't steal these spells, maybe we show why that she wouldn't. Oh my god, it is. She wouldn't? If it's just Miss Vermillion being stubborn after all, it might not take that much. Alright, let's think it over again. It actually... Okay, so it's exactly what I just did. Alright, it's exactly what I failed last one. But now it's legit. What are you trying to say? It's very simple. The spells stolen from the grimoire were all the kind that you'd use to change your appearance. So we've been told, spells to change one's height or the size of one's bust. In that case, the conclusion is obvious. Sanae's tall and gorgeous, and her bust is big enough. She wouldn't need anything like that. Uncomplicated arguments are often the most convincing, I suppose. You've done it, Aya! For real this time! It all comes down to Remilia now. Does the prosecution have an objection? I do not. I was outdone this time. Quite impressive work. Oh, not at all. You had me trembling the whole time. It's not very often you get praise from Miss Remilia. She's just tried to act cool in front of the audience, but if that's what it'll take to get her to back down, then I'll let her. At any rate, the truth has been made clear. I will now render my verdict upon the defendant, Sanae Kochia. Why would Sanae ever need those spells? She's already tall and gorgeous. And she has a good bust size. And everyone's just like, yeah, you're right. And then court adjourned. Amazing. Fucking amazing. Whew, it's all over. It was only one day, but it turned out to be an eventful one. But we managed to save an innocent person, so it was all worth it in the end, right? Still doesn't feel like it'll make much for an article. Is that really all you care about? I am Momiji. Oh, Sanae, you've been set free. And it's all thanks to your hard work. Thank you so much. We must express our gratitude as well. You should drop by the shrine whenever you feel like it. We'll bring out our best sake just for you. Your best sake, huh? Don't mind if I do. You're as self-interested as ever. Hey, if I have to keep doing this job, I'll make sure I get to enjoy the perks. Now we have to return home. Please come visit us soon so I can thank you properly. Sanae's such a nice, polite person, isn't she? As long as you don't flip her switch. Oh, it looks like the police are taking Mistia away. Well, she's the culprit, so that's how it has to be. And if we know she's already resigned herself. She has a lot of guts, like you'd expect from someone running a business on their own. I don't think that has anything to do with this. But maybe I'll interview her again the next time we meet. I had no idea she had so much on her mind. Huh? No way! Mistia's body is changing. The magic must be finally acting. What kind of beauty is she gonna turn into? Let me prepare my camera. Uh-oh. Momiji? Aya? We never saw anything, right? Nope. We never saw what Mistia has become, even though we were looking straight at her. Ah, crap, I'm too late. Marissa, those spells of yours are a huge failure! Hey now, my spells work perfectly, but I'm sure I wrote about the horrifying side effects of using more than one at a time in the preface. So this is... malmutation due to excessive magical contamination. Well, nothing I can do about it, so I'll be going. Aya? What? I know you took a picture, but are you seriously going to write an article about this? This is the kind of picture that'll get me censored. I thought so. The judge was going on about deep karma of this case back there, but I think all that's going to leave us with deep scars. Ay. Oh god, whatever happened to her, it's turned into this. Had to blur her out. Censor. The next episode is now available. What's next, chat? What's next? The teaser. Doll judgment. An incident occurs in the Forest of Magic. The suspect is Alice Margatroyd, and Aya can't defend her. But the Yama has a plan. A legal team to rival Aya and Momiji has appeared. Wait a minute. Are you telling me... do I get to play as Shanghai? Hold on. Shanghai and Horai get to be the defense attorney. Hold on, maybe. That's kind of poggies. Alright, hold on. Well, I can't play that today, of course. Ooh. This happened before in Phoenix Wright, by the way. Sometimes Phoenix can't take a case for one reason or another, and the defense is delegated to a different set of characters. Oh, 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 that's kind of exciting. But that's, you know, that's the teaser. That's the teaser because it's been 2 hours. I can't start it. I can't start it today. Oh, that's pretty exciting. But, you know, I'll be doing this one. I'll be doing this on Thursday, chat. So come Thursday, we'll see what that case is about. It's pretty exciting. I wonder.